Welcome back to the Aprilia Performance technical bit. That's this week's little technical bit that we're going to show you. This little bit, this time I want to show you about clutch levers and brake levers, and I want to show you a little bit about these bad boys. These bad boys here are basically the clutch master cylinder push rods. Now then, a lot of guys are changing their brake levers from the OE brake levers, or fitting aftermarket brake levers, or fitting new brake levers, and what they're doing is they're not adjusting these correctly. They're not familiar with what's going on. What happens is, if these aren't adjusted correctly, you either get masses of free play in the actual master cylinder itself, and what you'll find is that the clutch drags, clutch actually drags, so you put it in gear and it drags because you're not disengaging the clutch correctly. Or what you'll find is that if it's over adjusted, the clutch slips once it warms up, because basically the actual push rod here is pushing against the master cylinder piston itself. When the system warms up, the fluid should be allowed to expand back to the actual reservoir itself, but it can't, simply because the actual return hole is closed off because this push rod is over adjusted. Just have a quick close-up here. Also, while we're having a bit of a close-up, I want to show you what's going on as well. If you have a look, and this is underneath on the standard part, there's a little 2mm Allen key here, or a grub screw here, which you've got to wind out in order to be able to stop this from moving. And what a lot of guys are doing is they're going to the back edge, trying to unscrew it without undoing this grub screw. So if you undo the grub screw, it will move. If you lock the grub screw down, it fixes it so it won't move. Now, without undoing it, you won't get that apart, or if you will, you'll screw it up and basically you'll check it. These are available from us only. Don't seem to be able to find anywhere else other than Brembo, and if you buy them from Brembo, you've got to buy the entire lever kit itself. So we've got these in stock, that's not a problem. But what we're looking for, once you've fitted this, okay, into your lever, that fits into the lever there like that, okay. That actually pushes into the push rod. If we have a look around here, Fran, the push rod pushes into the master cylinder like this. This is the mount. This is where the actual rod goes. And we're looking for free play. We need a little bit of free play in that master cylinder, just before you can feel the hydraulic pressure. So when you're changing your levers, you're not going to lose any hydraulic pressure because you're not breaking into the sealed system. But what we're looking for is a tiny little bit of free play, the least amount of free play possible. Okay, but what we're looking for is a little bit of free play there. Otherwise, like I said, what happens is if it's over adjusted, the push rod pushes against the piston, the clutch will slip when it warms up. If you haven't got enough, or if you've got, too much free play, the clutch will drag, you'll have difficulty getting into neutral, and what you'll find is that basically it's a pain in the backside. Now, this also is effective, if you ever think about it, for braking systems. If you're changing the brake system, you also need to make sure that you've got a little bit of free play in the push rod to allow expansion for the actual fluid, heat expansion, to get back to the actual reservoir itself. If you have any more questions about this, please, this is a safety question. If you have any more, this is a safety issue. If you have any more questions, please don't be scared to speak up. Don't be scared. If you have a look on the bottom of this thread, ask a question. We watch what's going on. We will answer your questions. There isn't any dramas about that one. I spend most of my life answering questions about this kind of stuff on Facebook. It's not a problem. We're here to help. Please don't worry about it. If you don't want to do the whole sort of thing on the thread, not a problem, and you want to get in touch with us, you can get in touch with us on email at service@apriliaperformance.co.uk. Don't forget to subscribe to us on the YouTube channel. That's Aprilia Performance UK. Or like I said, if you've seen us, you can get in touch with us via Facebook. We'll see you next week. You take care. Speak to you soon.